Hey, what's up guys, and welcome back to Anime King. And today I'm going to be giving you part 2 of What If Naruto Was Neglected and Reborn as the Son of Darkness. Remember to get this one to 100 likes as usual. Share this to all of your friends in your social media platform. And also guys, go ahead and check out the final episode, yes. The final episode of What If Naruto had the most powerful Sharingan over in Anime King 3, and enjoy that guys. Remember, if you're new and this is the first time you hear my voice, go ahead and click that red subscribe button and become part of the Anime King family. And thank you for all for your help and your support. Remember to comment down below and tell me if you're new. I'll be replying talking back to all of you. And stay tuned for a brand new episode coming over in Making 2. Yes, I need up 3 channels and Making 2 and Making 3, which I post what if every single day for you guys to enjoy. So yeah, without further ado, what do you to begin this new episode? Start the intro. So the last time we left off, in the beginning there was nothing but darkness. The darkness enjoyed how things were like, and nothing changed. Darkness was just darkness. But it all changed when a light appeared. As Kami decreed to turn on the lights, the darkness didn't really like that. He hated it, as he was stuck in a fear of pure light. He moved from planet to planet. People thought that he could control darkness, but he was the one that was controlling them. Moving from planet to planet, he controlled people. But things were all about to change at the Elemental Nation. The daughter of Minato and Kushner Uzumaki. Well, she was their pride and joy. But did they forget that they had the other son as well? The son that had the most of the beast inside of him, well, his soul. So the villagers thought that he was a devil incarnate, while they loved the daughter so much. As the last straw was when they left on a trip and forgot him. Well, he was broken. He was torn up about it. He was damaged. As the villagers had beaten him to the point where they drowned him, filling his lungs with nothing but pure water. And he died, yes. Naruto Uzumaki died right there and then. On his deathbed though, the darkness arrived, as it told him to become his son. As Naruto would want them to suffer, he'd want them to pay. So he agreed. He gave himself over to the darkness and he became something rather devilish. So that he was reborn as the son of the darkness. It was finally time that he left Konoha, as he got himself ready along with the Kyuubi, as she was tagging along with him as well, as he had learned how to free her out of the seal. As she was in a human form, as she enjoyed being around him. She enjoyed his dark desires, his thoughts. He was something just so immaculate, a being that rivaled many, and seemed that he's unstoppable, untouchable. Minato and Kushner were setting up for their daughter's birthday party. That is when they remember about Naruto as they rush. But Naruto got help from Danzo. Danzo was a servant of the darkness, as Naruto has been plotting this for years now, and he had everything set up quite perfectly. So with that, he had a little chit chat with his family before he left. They thought they could stop him, but well, they could not, as Naruto showed that they could not as he left the village. But he ran into someone, as it was a succubi. She said that her name was Abido. As it turns out that Akane knew her, and she didn't really like her that much. But Naruto agreed to let her come along. She would be useful for his plans. So with that they move, as they continue to make their way towards a nearby town, out of the vicinity of Konoha, not even looking back towards the village. Upon making their way, Several things happened as Naruto heard rumors that someone was trapped away because she studied the dark arts. So he went to see for himself. Arriving there, he met a girl, as she was completely naked, as she was chained up against a wall. He freed her, as she was surprised. As she looked up at him, she didn't know who he was, but she was grateful to him. And she felt his power. It was just so much. It frightened her, yet at the same time it excited her that much. As he told her to come with him, which she did. But when he stepped outside, she felt that power vanish. Well, not vanish, like suppress. He was truly something different she has never seen. Someone like him before. As he was a son of the darkness. Now this was more than she was expecting. But she went along with the group. As Naruto brought her back and found out that the place was destroyed. The succubus and the Kyuubi had fought and destroyed the entire place. So they had to move. Once they moved towards the next town, Naruto had a dream. As a woman entered, she introduced herself as Navi. She was a dragon queen. As she heard about his goal, he wanted to kill Kami. Something that seemed, well, impossible, but she wanted to speak with him as she told him that she was sent a dragon. As Naruto agreed to meet her, he also met someone else as well. A woman who had pledged herself to the darkness a long time ago because Kami didn't help her when she was being tortured by the man that owned her to be safe. As he had bought her, she didn't have anything or anyone. And he treated her like garbage. As Naruto saw that she was bleeding, the man entered and forcefully told her to go downstairs. Her name was Yui Kotobushi. As Naruto used his serpents to rip the man apart, tearing him limb from limb. As he told them that as long as he's here, no one, absolutely no one in this world or universe will lay a finger on them. So yeah guys, it's basically as we left off. You guys can switch across the relationship of yourself. So we get right into this new episode. Let's begin guys. We begin this at Konoha sitting in her living room, holding a picture of her lost son. Kushner felt guilt wash over her for neglecting her son like that. She only thought it would have been better to train Katsumi, like Minato said that they should. But in their stupidity, they neglected the very child that held the beast that nearly destroyed the village. Tears fill her eyes once again, as she's been crying a lot lately. Naruto-kun, please be okay, she said to herself. She thought it was the right thing to say even though it was way too late to say something like that. Meanwhile, with Naruto sneezed. You okay? Ito asks, as she walked next to him. I think someone is talking about me, said Naruto as he looked towards her. Yeah, right. You're just trying to hide the fact that even demigods get cold. Every once in a while, said Albedo, as Akane gave off a slight chuckle. Huffing at their laughter, they walk along the road. But Yuako, who had no change of clothing to wear, long, red pants, and a shirt that showed off her belly, and a lab coat over it, she looked towards Naruto. As she decided to get brave, she moved closer to him, as she latched onto his arm, but he pulled his arm out of her hole, as he grabbed her on the waist and pulled her closer, and he gave her a kiss. The other three got, well, jealous by the affections that he gave her. As the sun was down, it was going down as serpent heads came from Naruto's back. As he sniffed around the new girl, as she scratched under their chin. Finally, said Naruto as he was back in his true form. That is when Yuako, Ito, Akane, and Albedo felt it. His overwhelming powerful energy flooding the entire place. They smiled as Akane licked her lips at the sheer power that he possessed. Soon they made their way towards the lake. As they stood there to wait for the dragons that the queen told them would pick them up, they didn't wait long as they heard a roar, caused them to look up to the heavens, as there was at least 4 dragons in total that came down, and on the one in the center, with glowing red eyes, was none other than Navi, the queen of the dragons. The dragons landed as she jumped off. I didn't thought that he would show up, she said. I would always come, especially for someone as beautiful as you, said Naruto. The other girls got a bit angry at that, but they realized that he would do that for all of them as well. as she extended the invitation. As they mounted the dragons, as they headed towards Navi's castle, Navi was quite elated. Now that she had the Son of Darkness with her, she believed that she could form an alliance, but she also wanted him as her king. After all, a queen needs a king at her side. So why do you need me to help you, said Naruto as they flew towards her castle. Kami has been pushing the boundaries between light and all things good. She aimed to bathe everything in holy light and drown out all the darkness, including her father, the darkness itself. But if she does that, it means that we dragons won't exist anymore, said Navi. As the dragons landed on the floating castle that was very high in the sky, it was well hidden. Someone below would just think that it was nothing but a cloud passing by, but it was actually the castle for the Queen of Dragons and her dragons. As the dragons landed, as they got off, as they followed her inside, it was amazing that something like this existed. The place was black, as it was glowing with the ominous red color that fit the decor quite well. Naruto was gonna like it here very much, but the moment he stepped over the threshold, his powers, they intensify. As Ito, Akane, Albedo, they also felt more powerful as well. It feels good, doesn't it, said Navi, as she looked towards her guests. Yes, but what is this? Asked Akane. This castle was built to honor the darkness actually. More importantly, any of those who have dark magic or demonic power at that. You can feel more stronger here, said Navi, as she led them more further. As she entered the throne room, there was 2 thrones at the top of the stairs. There were 2 massive statues at the front. Right at the bottom of the stairs, as they had a strange feeling, like they were alive somehow. So down to it, Kami has been going on a path where everything she sees as dark and unholy must be destroyed. She believed that everything must be cleansed. She believed that she has let the darkness run around her world for too long, said Navi as Naruto nodded. While, in truth, it is actually the opposite. The darkness, my father, has been on defensive for so long, but with Kami pushing her plans forward about everything, dark must be destroyed now. She does not see that she's destroying others in the process. I mean, shouldn't we live our life in peace, said Naruto, as Navi nodded her head in agreement. It is exactly that. And right now I'm scared to death to allow my dragons fly around during the day. At night they can be, because we made a pact with the darkness, where we give glory to him, and he gives us protection through the night. This castle hiding in the clouds is a protection for my people not to get killed by Kami. So now come my question, as she leaned forward to look at his eyes. Will you help me, she asks. You want my help, he said, raising the eyebrow. Yes, and I promise I'll give you anything that you ever wanted. I'll place the lift, a place where you can command your forces through everything. As well, I offer you my body. You can take me and do what you want to me, she said. I'll give you my help, because we both want the same thing, the death of Kami. I feel the same way. I want her to burn for what she done to my kind. Every time I close my eyes, I feel those who are born with dark magic cry out as they are killed. Enough is enough. How soon can we begin this war? You mean that, she said. As Naruto nodded, he understood. He knew what it was like to feel powerless, to be unable to fight back. He knew it every day when that cursed thing in the sky came up. He could relate to her pain. She made her way off the throne, as a few dragons came in the room as they knelt to him, and she knelt as well. We're at your service, Naruto-sama, she said. Order us as you see fit. Rise and serve me well, and I promise you will become one of the mothers of New World, along with these fine women here, said Naruto. As all the women that chose to follow him smiled. I welcome you here, she said. Please make yourself at home, as she showed them around. The castle was wonderful. Naruto never thought his father had so good taste. Getting settled in the room, with Ito and Albedo sharing a room, with Akane and Yuwako sharing one as well. But Naruto got his own room, and Navi wanted to know the Son of Darkness a bit better, as she walked in with a nightgown that was slightly see-through. As Naruto stood in front of a 2-meter mirror, as he just looked at it, as he was talking to a set of yellow eyes that were in the mirror. I want you to fight with everything you have. Make me proud, son. I'll do my best, father. As the eyes vanish. As Naruto turned as Navi approached him, she unconsciously licked her lips as she walked over towards him. How do you like it here? She asked. Very pleasing, said Naruto. How about I make it a little bit better? She said, as she pushed him in the chest slowly, allowing him to fall on the rather large bed. As Naruto glanced to the window and saw that it was a new moon. In these times, especially with a new moon, well, things happened to him. As she sat directly on top of him, right on his waist, she grinned like a cat. As she ripped off her clothes, allowing him to see the full, exposed body of hers. She saw that look in his eyes, a rather hungry look, like he was about to take control. Well, she wasn't wrong, as he gripped both of her hands. She felt herself being thrown down face first, right on the soft bed, as she felt him taking control, as she gave herself to him completely. It was amazing. Time skip. Naruto was lying on the bed as Navi was lying on his chest. One of his arms wrapped around her as she lay there. He had just given his virginity to the Queen of the Dragons, and she had given him hers. As they fell into a blissful rest, Akane, Iwato, Ito, and Albedo felt their jealousy skyrocket. They wanted to be first, but the Queen of Dragon had to beat them to it. But it was their fault. They didn't know about the new moon. If they had, one of them would have taken it already. But they did not know. But they will get their chance. Mark their words, they will get their chance. The next morning, he felt it. Despite the blinds being closed, he could feel that damn thing up in the sky. As he turned to see Navi, as she was snuggled up against him. As he glanced around to see their clothes scattered all around the room, the memories of last night flooded his mind. As he grabbed his head, how was he gonna explain this to the girls? As his mind felt strange last night, he couldn't control himself. The urge was just too powerful. As he didn't know why, maybe his father would know. As he got dressed and stood in front of the mirror. Father, he said. It took a couple of seconds as the golden eyes appeared. Yes, son, he said. Why did I go animalistic last night? And why are my eyes and teeth more sharp? To answer your question, son, your urges are higher on a new moon, unlike demons who have their urges higher on a full moon. And to answer your second question, you're growing into your power. You're growing more stronger. These changes will continue to happen. Do your best, my son. As the darkness vanished, the sound of someone waking up alerted Naruto as he turned. As Navi stretched completely naked, as she saw Naruto looking at her, she seductively crawled as she climbed out of the bed and wrapped her arms around him. How was I last night, my king? She asked. More than I could ever imagine, he said as he turned and gave her a kiss on the lips. I'll see you soon, lover boy, she whispered in his ear, as she threw on her nightgown and slowly walked out. As Naruto could not be any more happy. He had finally have his way of living sorted out, and on top of that he had gained a very powerful ally, the Queen of Dragons, and who was now his lover. He also gained a base of operation thanks to Navi. As he made his way, sometime later he stepped out, as he saw Ito standing there. Her arms were folded and there was a scowl on her face. Have a nice night last night, she said. I did, said Naruto, unbothered by her scowl. We can have a nice night tonight if you want. You. And Yuako if you would like, said Naruto. As that made her blush. I would like that, the voice of Yuako said. As her hair was wet, she was dressed in nothing but a towel. She had just came from the showers. Then I'll be seeing you in my chamber this night, said Naruto. As Ito could only blush, as she thought what was gonna happen very soon. With that, Naruto sat in the throne, right beside Navi. The doors then opened to reveal guards. These guards had forsaken their humanity to serve the darkness. They threw their humanity away when they found out the darkness was in constant war with Kami and was losing badly. So in the act of desperation, the darkness asked for their help. They agreed as long as their family should be spared when they serve him in his ways. Later on they became the servants of Navi and her dragons, protecting them with everything that they have. My lord, a woman who claims to hold power that she wishes to offer you, wishes to see you. Bring her in, said Naruto. As the woman was brought in, her figure was almost the same as Navi. She had silver white hair, her chests were as big as Albedo's, she was wearing red lipstick, she had beautiful blue eyes. Who are you, said Navi, a bit jealous as he saw the way Naruto looked at the woman, from head to toe. My name is Valiana. I am a demon, who is also half dragon. I wish to aid you in battle. As she bowed her head. Why? Naruto asked. Because you challenged Kami. For years myself and a few others have tried to live in harmony with the light. But ever since we caught wind that Kami was planning on cutting those who practice the dark art, we tried to run, but we were cut down by her holy light. I am the only one who survived, Valina said, a tear running down her cheek. As Naruto looked at her. Earlier, you said that you're half dragon. Is this true? As he was intrigued that she was half dragon as well. Yes, that's true, my king. My father was a dragon, my mother a demon. According to my mother, my father served the previous queen of dragons. Your mother, my queen, Valina said. That must explain why we lost most of our powerful fighters. The legendary dragon was lost when we heard that he was killed by Kami in a raid against her to bring back his wife, said Navi. That is correct. My mother was taken by Kami to be tortured for what she was in disgrace of what she had done. According to my mother, she also said that father was a mighty general in Kami forces, and with the marriage and becoming a father to a half dragon, half demon child, it was pure blasphemy. So in the end, my mother was killed and my father followed after her. When I was 7 years old, Valina said. Then do you swear to uphold the ways of the darkness? Do you swear to uphold the most loyal service to my father until you fall in battle, or till you draw your last breath? Naruto asked. I swear it, my king, I will serve him with everything I have, she said. As Naruto got off the throne, as he reached down and lifted her chin up, as he looked into her eyes, she felt shivers. Meanwhile, with Kushner, she just could not shake the feeling of what happened a few nights ago. Just the sight of her son like that was something that haunted her to no end. He mentioned that he liked what he looked like, and he wasn't planning on changing it, but she didn't even know what he was. The power felt demonic, that was for sure, but it was so powerful and dark. It felt like it was something beyond demonic. She just couldn't explain what it was. She wanted to know what it was. So what would be the ideal way to learn what it is? The library had no information and no one had ever seen that power before. She stopped directly in front of his room. As she looked towards the doorknob, as she reached out and grabbed it, and she felt exactly what Katsumi felt when she grabbed it. Screams and laughter. But she pushed past her fears and entered the room. It was the same room her and Minato found, but with the lights out and the windows being boarded up, she could finally see the residue from the claw marks on the wall. They glow a sickly purple. As her hand reached out, the feeling that she should not was there, but she reached out and she touched it. Slice! It cut her finger. She screamed in pain at that very second as a strange feeling invaded her. Strange black markings spread from the cut down in her body as she screamed out to the heavens. As she blacked out, pulled into a subconscious that was not hers. It belonged to a very ancient being, one of immense power. She found herself in a cemetery of some sort. As she glanced up to see two moons in the sky. So, you have come to see me. The demonic voice boomed out. Who's there? Where are you? She shouted, looking around everywhere. I am everywhere, but nowhere. I know things but don't know myself. As for who I am, that is quite simple. I am the darkness, the ruler of the eternal night, and father of Naruto. The two moons turn yellow with a slitted eye as they blink. You're not his father. He's my son. The darkness laughed, very demonically. Really? Then if he is your child, why did he disown you? The darkness asks. Because you changed him. You twisted him to suit your own selfish ambitions. Kushner hit the ground hard as she felt a wave of pure despair wash over her. I changed him, yes, but it was never to suit my needs. I changed him because he asked me to. Did you know on 12 separate occasions he was close to death? I know this because I watched him do it. It was only recently I changed him and turned him into my son. You saved him? She said, not sounding like she believed him. Yes, I saved him. Will he go back to where he was? She asked. No. He's forever bound to the darkness, never to be removed. And you're also one dumb bitch, you know? What? Said Kushner. Those claw marks hold the very power over darkness. And the residue that you touch was a very powerful poison. It only activates under the influence of the darkness. What? Are you saying I'm dying? She said. To put it mildly, yes. You are dying. You have 5 days to live. Unless you wish to choose to go on, or your body will turn to dust. And don't bother looking for an antidote. This is not your mere human poison. You can survive though, but only if you become like my son. Kushner saw red. I refuse. I will never become like you. Sooner or later you will. It is a fate worse than death. The dark chuckle resonated through the area. Kushner got up off the ground as she rushed towards the full-length mirror. As she saw the black markings running across her arm, they were along her arm, as some of them were moving towards her chest. This was not looking good. She already felt woozy, and she could feel something inside of her. But if she agreed to become what he was going to turn her into, she would no longer be human. She couldn't do that. Could she really forsake her humanity like that? Just to pluck herself from death's clutches? Only time would tell. Time skip. See you later, honey, the voice of Minato said. Yes, dear. As Kushner was at the kitchen, cleaning the dishes, as he was bandages on her arm. Once he was gone, the door was locked. Her face showed nothing but pain as she undid the bandages to show the arm. It has been 2 days since she cut her finger. 2 days since she made contact with the entity that changed her son forever. She still did not understand where her son left, or why he chose to be what he is right now. The tattoos had spread to cover her arm now. As she made her way towards her son's room, arriving towards the mirror, those 2 sickly yellow eyes appeared. So you still feel by doing what you're doing that you will feel better. Hate to disappoint you, but that won't work, Darkness said. Why did my son leave? She asked. He chuckled. Let me show you. A tentacle of darkness shot from the mirror and embedded in her chest. As she dropped to the ground, she was confused as nothing happened. Go outside, through the village. You will hear what is going through your mind about your son, and most likely you as well. She tied up her arm once again as she made her way toward the streets of the village. As she walked, I'm so glad that demon is no longer here. We can finally live happy and be comfortable. She heard from nowhere. She looked around confused. That little prick had it coming. We are now heroes, she heard from another. Good day, Kushner-sama. A random civilian said. Good day, she said. She gave birth to that demon. What a slut. Kushner clenched her fist tight. That stupid brat will be nothing but pain. I'm so glad he's dead and gone. She teared up as she made her way towards the Hokage's office as she was about to grab the door handle until she heard the thoughts of the man that she loved. That bastard. How could he disgrace me like that? Kushner was unaware that she was hearing all the dark thoughts that they thought in their head. Not just every thoughts that came to the surface, but the dark ones. Well, I made my choice a long time ago, and Kushner went along with it as usual, just to focus on Katsumi. She's my pride and joy. That thing is no longer my son. She then heard something that shocked her. I wonder if I should go and visit her tonight once again, as he wasn't speaking about her. Kushner is feeling all depressed and always sad. But she should know, I'm a very influential person. There's many females in this village, They want to get a piece of me, he said. Well, considering that I'm already cheating on her, I think I'll say that I'm working late. As Kushner froze, a hand over her mouth. Kushner ran home with all her might. As she arrived and quickly shut the door behind her, as she collapsed on the ground. Throughout the day, all she heard was whispering thoughts of what the people thought about Naruto. The darkness had shown her what her son was going through. She covered her ears trying to shut the voices out, but that did not work. She was too blind to see that all her husband was not even what she expected all this time. She painted him to be such a gentleman, with a good sense of justice. But Naruto was nothing to him. She was also too scared to even go to her daughter to hear her thoughts on the matter. As she cried, she lay there and just cried. Time skip. The two girls were asleep, holding on to each other as Naruto had slipped right out of the center, as he was called by Navi. As Ito and Iwako had spent the night with him last night. As he made his way towards the throne room, as Navi was pacing back in front, as Naruto appeared behind her and wrapped his arms around her waist, as he breathed in her scent. You called for me, he asked. Yes, there's something I want you to do. I would do it myself, but... As Naruto understood, as he covered her mouth. But you fear for the safety of your dragons, he said. Tell me, what is it? Nothing much, just that you will be destroying our outposts. Kami minions have been found south of here. This is a perfect opportunity we've been given to launch our fight against Kami. Destroy the outpost and this will send a message to that stuck-up bitch. Do not worry about transport. Just wait for tonight and I'll send you one of my dragons. Naruto gave her a kiss. Then, it is decided, he said. Time skip. As Naruto jumped. He literally jumped 10,000 feet. As he fell, he just steadied himself as his body whipped through the air like a bullet. The moment his feet touched the ground, there was an explosion. Trees, platforms were leveled by just him landing. As Naruto picked himself out of it unfazed, standing there unfazed like nothing happened. The sun was already setting. As he took in a breath, his body changing back to its original form, his eyes sparkling in the darkness. As he moved, trees, everything seemed to just slow down as he moved through the air like a blur. As he pulled Soul Saw off his waist, as he gripped the demonic weapon, as he came to a stop a distance off. What should have taken a normal man at least hours only took him a few seconds. As Naruto saw a few angels guarding the area, there was just two. So he fired the Soul Saw as it stabbed through the angel, stabbing it into the paint wall behind it. As next one turned, as Naruto appeared and ripped its soul out, the skull on the Soul Saw started to glow a sickly green. As Naruto pulled out another blade, the sun was down completely now, as he felt his powers rising to its peak. The moment the sun completely vanished, his power exploded out, a feeling of despair and agony washing over the area. Demon came a cry from the top of the outpost. Every angel was alerted at that moment, as they all swept down towards them, as the demonic grin split on his face. As the heads swirled around his back, the serpents looking hungry. They had never had an angel before. Stop, intruder! You're on sacred grounds in honor of our glorious leader Kami to fight us. You will be fighting her, one of them said. That's the plan, said Naruto, as he fired the blade and killed the angel in one shot. The head came rolling off as blood gushed everywhere. Kill it! The other one shouted as the rest of them launched themselves towards him. As Naruto sliced his thumb, as he brought his hand down, saying summoning Wrath! A massive demon tore itself from the earth, wielding two blades, its eyes blood red. His clothing was black and formal. As he turned, Naruto-sama, you need of me. Wrath, I want you to bring me 3 of these angels' dead bodies, and then give me some protection after that. I am planning to summon one of the demon generals. As Wrath nodded, As you wish, my lord. As he moved to do as his master told. As Naruto used his own blood to draw on the ground. As he started to draw a pentagram. It is done, my master. As the bodies were thrown in front of him. Thank you, said Naruto. As Wrath stood in front of him, defending Naruto. I call upon your aid. Grant your master the power he needs to destroy what he desires. Aid your master in this fight. As Naruto started to chant the words, not really English at all, his eyes started to glow a sickly red as the place became filled with malice, death, corruption, hate. The pentagram used the angels' bodies as they start to swirl as a perfect sacrifice, tearing apart the earth as they swirl and swirl and swirl until it was a blur. And it turned into a massive hole through to the underworld. A massive claw hand came out of the ground. The horde of angels all stopped. A demon that was as large as the outposts, 300 meters, came out. His skin was full black scales. 3 wings adorned his back. He had a massive tail with spike on it. As he breathed out, destroy them, said Naruto. As Abaddon moved forward and started to crush the outposts. As a sick smile was on Naruto's face as he watched. It ripped the angels apart. Those that tried to take Naruto down thinking that taking him down would mean taking down the demon. Naruto saw them in half. As Naruto saw an angel trying to flee, he vanished and appeared in front of her. She paused. My, you look lovely. He slammed his fist in her gut. Don't worry, he said, whispering in her ear. I'll treat you very nice. As Naruto changed her, tentacle of darkness slammed into her body as he defiled her, changing her. As Naruto created something that has never been created before, the Imperius, changing the angel into something to serve him instead of Kami. Her wings changed from their snow white to midnight black as 2 horns burst from her forehead coming out. Her eyes changed from a glowing blue to a demonic red as Naruto dropped the Imperius to the ground. As she looked at herself for a moment before she looked up. What is it that you wish of me, master? She asked. As Naruto smiled evilly. I request to know everything about Kami, he said. Of course, my master, she said. I will serve you. Time skip. Waking up to a new morning. Albedo and Akane in bed with him. Their clothes all over the place. The various furniture is broken apart. Claw marks in them from them gripping it tightly. These two wanted a piece of him ever since they met him. Akane worse since she has been with him the longest. So last night was the wildest. As Naruto lay in bed in his dark form, with the curtains closed. There was a knock at his door. Yes? Your Highness, there has been a very interesting development. Your queen requests your presence. I'll be right there, said Naruto. As Naruto heard a cute yawn as he turned to see Albedo awake. As she gave him a kiss. That was brilliant, she said. Brilliant is not the word I would describe it as. I would say mind-blowing. Awesomeness, said Akane as she kissed him afterwards. In any case, I have to go and see what Navi-chan wants of me. So can you guys let me go in here to ask? We can, but you must make us a promise. Which will be, said Naruto. We do it again tonight, both girls said. Very well, said Naruto. As the girls released him, time skip. Hello, my love, said Navi. There's something that I need to tell you. And what is that, Naruto asked? There's a serious matter that has to be sorted out. Last night when you stopped those angels and enslaved that other one, creating the first, impure, Kami found out. She has sent angels back to that outpost. Unfortunately, we can't place any troops there. This will raise alarms up in heaven and cause major issues. We still want to retain the element of surprise. As well, our forces are weak during the day, said Naruto. As Navi nodded, and let me guess, I go back in there and mess everything up again, said Naruto. No, should you do that, she will catch this and kill us all. But we can take out one that has not been on Kami radar for a long time now. This one has minimum angels on it, so wiping it out should be rather easy. There is also a new weapon we have for you. It should help you out, but it can only be used a set number of times. So be careful, she said. As a guard walked in holding a katana. It was full blue, with a white ribbon on the hilt. As Naruto made his way towards the guard and took the weapon, as he unsheathed said weapon, the moment he did, his eyes went wide, as he felt unbelievable power coming from it. A weapon that can fully handle his hatred and malice. This weapon is the only thing that can match your own lifelike soul saw. It can only be used during the day though, and not the night. It is called Yamato. As Naruto sheathed the blade, what is with the power, he asked. This sword was finished when we took the last lingering essence from that impure last night. Don't worry, the impure is still under your control, but she has no connection to Kami anymore. The sword holds power to cut through dimensions. It grows in power just as much as you do. So in other words, it's a part of you, much like Soul Saw. Then I thank you. I love it when you do these things for me, yet I haven't done anything for you. She shook her head. You have given me something already, she said. I was waiting to tell you, she said. As Naruto raised the eyebrow as she placed a hand on her stomach. You're pregnant, aren't you? Said Naruto. I am, our child. It will be a girl. A girl, said Naruto. We have to think of a name for her then. That we must. We can discuss names when you get back. As Naruto walked up and pulled her in a tight hug, followed by a kiss. As he placed a hand on her cheek and caressed it. I would like that, he said. As Naruto said his goodbyes, he made his way. Albedo and Akane came out. So you're pregnant? Yes, Navi said. Then may the child grow up healthy and strong. The both of them said, as they also wanted a child with Naruto, sire and heir for their thrones. Meanwhile, as Naruto was falling from the heavens, well, not the heavens, but the sky, as he felt something wrong, an outpost that Kami so happened to forget about. He didn't really bite, but with his new toy, he wanted to test it out. As he hit the ground in a crater like last time, as he made his way towards the outpost, the katana jingling a bit in his scabbard as he walked. His grin was sadistic as he knew that once again angel blood will soak the soils. As Naruto stopped when his hand hit a barrier, he knew there was something off. Demon! Someone cried. He glanced up to see 7 angels as they were flying down towards him. They had a feeling of kill and death in their hearts. He could sense it. Like they became fanatical in doing what they were doing. They were here to bring him down. Your kind must be purged from society, they said. As Naruto jumped back, all 7 of them landed in front of him. Kami will be pleased. As Naruto pulled out Yamato, well then, said Naruto as he gripped the blade. A dark steam started to rise from it. Why don't you come down here and try to take me down? As they flashed towards him with incredible speed, their wings making them move to the air, he blocked their blades. As the one in front of him released a light, trying to blind him. As Naruto ducked under the slash, only for a beam to slam his arm from behind. Black mist came from the wound as Naruto turned, but some of Naruto blood dropped on the blade as it turned red for a second there, before it ceased and returned back to normal. As he picked the blade up, the one behind him flew towards him as Naruto slashed. The angel was slashed from the shoulder going down. As Naruto kicked it to the side, he then rushed towards the barrier. They smirked as he would just bounce off it, but to their surprise, he tear right through it as he jumped inside. As Naruto swung his blade wildly, he started to carve and slice as blood sprayed everywhere. As Naruto tapped his finger on the hilt of the blade, as it released an explosion that blew away several of them. As Naruto raised the eyebrow in surprise, he slashed once again, diverting the blade that came to slice it to half. As he thrust the blade forward, piercing to the head of the angel. As the angel dropped, Naruto noticed a small cut in space and time. It was really small, minuscule. As Naruto smiled at that notion, as the rest of the angel rushed towards him, he tapped the blade end once again as an explosion like a nuclear bomb went off. Bodies were blown to pieces. These normal angels just did not stand a chance against him as he slaughtered them all. He then decided to return home. It was then his whole body felt weak, as he turned to see a big ball of light. Hello, Naruto-kun. He shielded his eyes. Damn it, he cursed. He could not transform in his full power because damn ball of light in front of him. It was just like the sun, as he knew exactly who it was. Hello, Kami, he said. I see you have killed a few of my angels out of anger for what your parents have done. I know how you feel, she said. You know absolutely nothing, said Naruto. I do actually. I watch you live your life, but now I offer you a chance to make it all better. How so? Forgive them, said Kami. How so? Said Naruto's tone, growing irritated. They choose to ignore me. I understand that, but you are the child of prophecy. You will change everything and make it alright. Okay, I will do it, he said. Glad to hear, she said, clearly falling for it, until Naruto gripped his face. Stupid bitch. Do you honestly think I'll forgive them? They can burn in hell for all I care. I will ensure that everything that you created gets swallowed up in the darkness. It was then that she saw his eyes. Wait, those eyes. You've been touched by the darkness. That stupid bastard. Doesn't he realize he can never beat me? He can never hope to win against me. Try again, said Naruto. I decimate your forces that night, and also today. For too long my father, the darkness, has been on the defensive against you. You forced his hand when you decided to take on an approach to wipe out everything that relates to the darkness. You call the darkness a murderer and such, when you have the blood of innocent people on your hands that was born with dark magic. Don't you dare judge the darkness. At the end of this war, I will have your head, you foolish child. You have just signed your own death warrant. I will see you on the battlefield, she said, as the light vanished. That we will, said Naruto as he saw a dying angel on the ground. He walked over and took it back with him, turned into an impure as well. Meanwhile, with Kushner, she was slowly dying. It has been 4 days and a few hours. Yes, it has. Since she found out everything about the villagers and her husband. The Uzumaki-based law was to never abandon blood, and yet she abandoned her son. Mito would surely crawl out of her grave and beat the living crap out of her if she found out about this. As she was in her room, she had boarded up the windows to hide the sun away. 2 sickly yellow eyes appeared on her roof. You're dying. The voice of the darkness came out. What will you do? If I accept, what will happen to me? Should you accept, you will hold incredible power just like my son. You will come to hate the day and the sun, just like he does. But you will no longer be his mother. After all, he stopped being your son the moment I change him. You two no longer share the same DNA. You will be completely 2 different entities, not related at all. But your true power will come out at night. As Kushner lay there, as she thought, if she died, she would die with so much regret and remorse. As Mito would definitely hate her in the afterlife for what she did to her family. And then again she wanted to speak with Naruto. Even though she would not be his mother anymore, she wanted to be by his side. She wanted to talk to him and tell him how much she knew about his pain that she never knew before. She wanted to apologize. She wanted to make sure her son knew that she was sorry. But the thing was, she wouldn't be his mother anymore. She would be like a stranger. His DNA was currently different from hers. Technically, you couldn't even call him her son. And once she changed, she would become something like a demon as well. But she didn't want to die. But the pain was so unbearable, but she had to make a choice. She didn't want to die. There was so much that she hadn't done. So much that she needed to tell her son. The pain, the suffering that he went through. Minato doing what he did, the villagers saying those things behind her back. Their looks of smile and happiness were all for pretense. As she looked up towards those eyes, her mind focusing on a choice to make. It seems she already made up her mind. But guys, let me end subscribe right here. For what's next part to do, like, subscribe, comment down below, turn on the bell notifications to be notified. But I'm off for now, see you guys soon. Peace.